If you have a dream or you want to try it, go for it. You have to go for it. If it doesn't work out like it didn't for me, there's no shame. If I hadn't have tried, I'd still be sitting here, even with my own business, thinking, what if I had been a yacht stewardess? What if I had tried? I bet I would have traveled the world and made loads of friends. But now I never think that, because now I know. I was a yacht stewardess for 4 days, and it would eventually lead me to living in the south of France for about 1.5 to 2 years. And I want to talk about it because some of you actually watch this. And this experience would eventually lead me to finding my own business, EJ Design. If you don't know who I am, I'm Eilidh, I'm 30 years old and I live in the Outer Hebrides of Scotland. I accidentally started my own art business and now here I am running my own shop in Stornoway. The story starts with me trying to become a yacht stewardess at 24 years old. I studied graphic design and I had worked as a designer for a year in Stornoway, and I had kind of learned everything that I felt I could learn, and I was getting itchy feet. I was born on a quiet island, the Isle of Lewis, and I guess I was waiting for my 20s to start, but they weren't. And I don't know if it's the right way to look at life, but I felt there was more than this island, and at 24 I was so young and I was eager to see the big world. I had also been in a relationship for about 4.5 years, and I was incredibly lonely. Life lesson number 1. Being with someone who doesn't value you and takes you for granted is way lonelier than being on your own. I'm just saying this to any young woman. Rip the bandage off if you are not appreciated. Do yourself a favour in the long run. I know it's hard, but anyway, to become a yacht stewardess, you need qualifications. And after a lot of research, I found out the place to get them was France, because that's where all the rich people are. It cost about 1,300 plus around £100 for medical. I arranged to spend a week in the south of France learning how to firefight and do CPR for my qualifications. If you've ever been to Nice, the first thing you will notice is this turquoise blue band on the sea. I remember arriving and feeling this drop in my gut and just seeing that turquoise band and knowing that I wasn't coming back for a while. I was really excited for the unknown, even though I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. While getting my qualifications, I stayed with family friends that I hadn't really seen since I was like 10. They were so welcoming and warm. It was the kind of kindness that I wasn't used to. And I was really lucky because it gave me a real taste into French life. Anyway, back to the yacht career. Once you have all your qualifications, you start dock walking. Or at least that's what the blog said. I don't actually think you need to dock walk. You need to go to agencies. So my first day I went to Monaco and I was too scared to approach anyone. Before I had arrived in France, I had done a lot of research and I had watched this quite successful YouTuber called Jared Watney, who showed you all about his yacht experience. And the first day when I was in Monaco, the first boat I saw, there he was on the boat working. I couldn't believe I had just been watching hours of this guy. I felt like I knew him. It was my first time meeting a celebrity, even though he wasn't a celebrity. I plucked up the courage to talk to him and he was really encouraging. Unfortunately, he had a girlfriend, so I was a bit disappointed. But it gave me a lot of confidence. I felt like, what were the chances of me seeing someone that I had just watched the night before on YouTube out of all the boats in the whole world? So I felt like the universe was on my side and told me to keep going. Dock walking was useless. It was just me walking around in 30 degrees heat with nobody on the boat. I eventually went to an agency and while I was there, they got a call. Someone had broken their leg and they needed a replacement ASAP. I was right in front of them, so they suggested me. This was in Antibes and the interview was in Monaco. I had been walking 5 hours in 30-degree heat and my shirt was stained, and now I had an interview on a super yacht. You can't really imagine what it's like walking onto a super yacht as a girl from the Isle of Lewis. It was surreal. The interview was very quick. I don't think they could have been bothered looking for anyone else. I did have housekeeping skills and I had just worked at a lodge in Norway, so I think that really helped. And they were like, can you start tomorrow at 9? So I got a job on an £80 million yacht called the Cocoa Bean. I will never forget arriving in Monaco and stepping aboard that super yacht. There was a security guard and he opened the door for me, and as I walked past him, he said, "Welcome to the Bean." It was so cool. It was like being in a movie. We weren't picking up the guests in Monaco, we were picking them up in Saint-Tropez. So as we were leaving Monaco, the second stewardess took me up to the top of the yacht. I forget the technical names, which was full of gold statues, globes, and had a 360 view of Monaco as we were departing. Now, sometimes I feel silly for spending so much money to be a yacht stewardess for 4 days, but it was absolutely worth it for that memory. I will never step foot on a super yacht again, and I will never be in a room with that much wealth, and I will never get to see Monaco as I depart on a super yacht. The money alone was worth it just to have that memory. I wish I could have taken photos, but I didn't want to do that on my first hour into a really professional job. I felt stupid a lot of the time. I wasn't sure if I had made the right decision leaving my relationship, and I don't think mentally I was okay. But in that moment, everything had worked out, and I had finally done what I said was going to do. Little did I know it would last 5 days. It was actually not that big of a deal. They had expected 12 Saudi guests, but it was actually 2 Saudi guests, a prince and a princess, and they were so rich that they brought their own staff. They had brought 10 of their staff members, so they didn't actually need me. I remember on the second day when we were cleaning the princess's room, and I was shocked to see the second stew go into her makeup bag and start cleaning around her powder. I thought that was so intrusive. I would hate that. But apparently they like that. As we were cleaning, the princess came back unexpectedly and we were supposed to leave the room immediately. We did, and I made the mistake of saying hi because I just figured that's what you do. You don't ignore someone, and not like a hey, just more like a hi. And yeah, the second stew was like, oh my goodness, don't ever do that again. You're not supposed to acknowledge them, or more like they're not supposed to acknowledge you exist. And I remember looking at the princess, and she really didn't look like a princess. She looked quite shocked that I had said hi to her, but not really in a disgusted way, more in a like you can see me kind of way. She had baggy clothes on, she had her hair all messy, she had no makeup, and she looked really sad. Really, really sad. And I thought, damn, I don't want to be a Saudi princess. So yeah, that was my first mistake. 5 days later, or was it 4 days? I don't know. They dropped me off in Italy, got me a taxi to the airport, and sent me back to Nice. Purely because they had no more work. I was just kind of cleaning the crew mess, and it was weird. And it kind of made me realize maybe I don't want to be a yacht stewardess. I realized there's actually not that much traveling. You literally work for 14 hours a day, which I guess I expected, but it's kind of boring. And I realized everyone seemed to be there for a reason, and the reason wasn't to make friends or to travel. It was for money. They all had student debt to pay off, a house, a business plan that they wanted to earn money for, so nobody was there to have fun. And you couldn't even really travel because the boat was so big, it doesn't go into port, you would need to get tendered off, and they're not going to tender you off for an hour. So you just have to stay below deck on your break in your bedroom or the crew mess. So what was I doing? Now, I know there are thousands, hundreds of thousands of boats, so that's not everyone's experience, but that was mine, and I don't know if it's that much to do with traveling. And I was like, why don't I just have a job and then everything that I earn, I can travel instead of working 15 hours and maybe getting a day off once a month. The weird thing is that when I arrived back in Nice at my family's house, it was raining, like it was thunderstorm raining, and it never rains in Nice. I felt so defeated and dumb. I did not want to dock walk again. I didn't even think I wanted to be a yacht stewardess. I had just paid $1,500 to do this. What was I actually doing? And now it was raining and I was drenched. But weirdly, 3 years to the day, thank you Snapchat memories, I would be having my own exhibition in Edinburgh. I wish you could see into the future because that would have really helped me at that moment. I didn't know what to do, and my French family, bless them, said, why don't you just stay here? And I was like, what? I can stay here? And they were like, oui. And I was like, okay. So I put my CV into the local Irish bar, as you do, and I got a job. So now you know how I got to Nice. And I will make another video about my time in Nice and what it's like to move to another country and have a few more pictures because I barely have any pictures of being a yacht stewardess. But I do think, especially if you're in your 20s, if you have a dream or you want to try it, go for it. You have to go for it. If it doesn't work out like it didn't for me, there's no shame. If I hadn't have tried, I'd still be sitting here, even with my own business, thinking, what if I had been a yacht stewardess? What if I had tried? I bet I would have traveled the world and made loads of friends. But now I never think that because now I know. And now I know that I don't want to be incredibly rich because it seems really lonely. But I'm really glad I did it. And Yeah, stay tuned for the next video. I probably won't be on my kitchen counter. Thank you for watching. Bye.